Hi guys, it's Christina from Redefine Creative, and I am back with my first project using my January stash kit. And I am going off of, my kit was built off of that mood board, and I am using this sketch today. And this was designed for the Secret Not Secret Kit Club, which is one of the groups and a small little kit club that I run for a bunch of my friends. And every month we have a scrapbooking party for the weekend. And so this weekend, each month we have a designer who designs a sketch that is just for us. And so this sketch from Eileen, Scrapmazing, excuse me guys, Eileen Scrapmazing is one of our Kit Club members, and she designed this sketch specifically for us. And it worked really well with my kit as well as with this photo that I wanted to scrapbook of my son. And this is just a school picture. And so I'm going to keep mine a little bit more square than hers. So her strips in the sketch go kind of off in all directions. I'm going to keep mine more of a square. But I am going to use strips of all of the blue colored pattern papers that are in this kit. So if you want to see the kit that I put together to go with the mood board this month, you can click back in the playlist or check out my video from last week, which was the kit share of what I was going to be working with. And so all I'm doing is taking these strips, and I'm using like 2-inch strips here, and I'm creating kind of a grid pattern that goes around my photo. And so I have a bunch of my paper, all except for the one on the bottom are from Gossamer Blue. And then that one on the bottom, I'm trying to remember what collection that one is from. I'd have to look back at last week's video. I think that's Maggie Holmes paper. So all I'm going to do here is I'm trimming them up because I want them to be the same size. And then I decide I'm going to move those strips to the top and the bottom. And then I'm going to put the squares to the inside instead of the outside like they were on the sketch. So really when I use a sketch, it just kind of gives me a jumping off point. So it tells me where I want to start in terms of kind of building a layout. And then I kind of go from there and change it up a little bit as I go. So I'm going to go ahead and add these squares, and this is going to complete that kind of grid patchwork design that I have going around my photo. And I apologize for it being a little bit off the screen, but I do move it up there so that you can actually see what's going on. And then I'm going to add some of these gold accents. And so these are some of the ephemera that I pulled out to go with this kit. So I have this little gold tag that's going to go up at the top, and then I have that circle that just says Collect Beautiful Moments. And I'm not really going to have a specific title on this page because it's kind of self-explanatory that it's his school picture. And it's going to go in his school memories for that particular year. So it's going to be very self-explanatory to where it doesn't really need a title. And then I'm just grabbing some of those little chipboard pieces that I had put in my kit. And I'm going to add one chipboard circle to each one. And I am keeping this layout pretty simple. Just because it is a school photo, I tend to keep those a little bit more simple. I did take that photo and put it on some dimensional adhesive, so it's going to stand up off the background. And then I'm going to take some white and navy blue cardstock and layer them together so that I get this little kind of wonky offset corner in the top left. And I am going to use that to have one little other area of embellishment. So I found some, back in my stash, not in my kit, some red washi tape that has some little red arrows on it, and I've been using this in a couple of layouts lately, so it's just sitting on my desk. So I decided to put just a little bit of that up in that top little corner, because there is just a little bit of red throughout a couple of the pattern papers that I'm using. And then I went ahead and put all of my kind of patchwork grid design layout here on navy blue cardstock and did a little bit of a border with that as well to kind of tie that center element all together. And then I'm going to start working on gluing down my embellishments. So I did cut the bottom of that tag off because I do want to save it for another layout. So I do have a few more layouts to do with this particular stash kit, so I don't want to use up everything on the very first layout. And it's going to be hidden anyway, so I really don't need the bottom at this point. But I might be able to use it somewhere else. And then I'm going to go ahead and stick down the chipboard in that cluster as well. And then I'm going to work on the cluster down at the bottom. Because it is going to sit half on my photo and half on the background paper, I do need to add a little piece of fun foam to the part that is not on the photo so that it will sit kind of evenly. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with this chipboard. So that needs a little piece of foam on the part that's going to be overlapping the pattern paper rather than the embellishment, so that everything will sit evenly and stay glued together. If you don't do that part, it creates like a gap where the heights are different, so then your embellishments are likely to pop off or not stay very well. And then I'm going to grab this little banner that says documented, and this was also on that chipboard sheet, and it's going to go in that top little cluster that I have going on. And that's mainly going to do it for the embellishment part. I am going to add these little stars, and then I go back and pull out my enamel dots and add a few of those in each cluster. But that's really going to do it. So I loved that this particular sketch was more simplistic. So it gave you a chance to just play with some pattern papers and some leftover pieces of things if you wanted to take it and use it with your scraps. It also gave me a chance to pull in a lot of the colors from this particular mood board this month, and it worked really well with my kit. So I'm super excited that I could kind of combine my sketch as well as the stash kit that I put together. And I really like the way that this turned out. My school photo pages like this are not usually very like detailed and intricate and all that kind of thing. I save a lot of those layouts for, you know, special photos and events and things. But I do like to document their school photos. And so that's basically going to do it. And so I hope you enjoyed seeing how this layout came together and how I kind of modified the sketch a little bit to work with my kit as well as my photos. And I will be back again next Sunday using my stash kit again along with the January mood board. I'll see you then. Bye!